Well met. Welcome to another random_14 YouTube video.
Though our plight cries out for action, we must take thought. So long as Leviathan remains in the open sea, he is effectively beyond our reach. Our fleet is second to none, of that you may be sure, but Limleen herself would struggle to best the Lord of the Whorl in his element. In a straight fight, he would make meat and matchwood of us. We need another plan, that much is plain. Let us return to Limsa and see if we cannot think of one. I shall await you in the command room.
You are expected in the command room. Pray do not keep the Admiral waiting.
Being the observant adventurer that you are, you will doubtless have noticed my dagger work back at Sapsa. You know me, K'nekotein, I like to dabble in a bit of this and a bit of that.
The Sahagin elder claimed to have become eternal, yet he was summarily consumed by Leviathan. What might this imply?
When I saw Leviathan rise from the depths, I cannot well describe what I felt. No words could prepare one for such a sight.
To confront the Lord of the Whorl in his watery domain is far from ideal, yet he is not like to come to us with that he lacked the means to strike us from afar.
If Leviathan is allowed to unleash a tidal wave, nothing within 10 mounds of the coast will be safe, let alone Limsa. I trust you see what's at stake here.
There used to be a hamlet beyond South Tidegate in western Lanosha. Halfstone it was called. Some years prior to the Maelstrom's founding, Leviathan rose from the briny depths and set about unleashing watery hell upon us. On that occasion, the company of heroes put him down before he could do too much damage. But when the bastard came next, this time in the wake of the calamity, we were not so fortunate. Weary of ravaging our shoreline, he summoned a tidal wave which fair leveled Halfstone and washed the soil away for good measure.
The area was subsequently occupied by the Sahagin.
Aye, the thrice-damned creatures transformed it into a spawning ground for their brood. Given the quantity of crystal stolen to feed him and his legion of thralls, we can be fairly sure that Leviathan is stronger now than in his previous incarnations. If that sea demon is left to wreak havoc, what befell Halfstone may well befall a larger settlement, even Limsa. That cannot happen. The primal must be stopped.
That was ever our objective, Admiral. But how are we to achieve it? The sea is Leviathan's uncontested domain. The ships of the 3rd Squadron could not close to within 100 yards of the primal, nor could their cannons pierce his defenses.
I have read the reports, Master Thancred. Our warships may as well have been bloody pleasure barges for all the good they did. 7 hells! Is there no way that we might strike back?
The company of heroes defeated Leviathan, having first lured him into an inlet, but we must needs contend with him upon the open sea. It will avail us little to consult past experience.
Admiral, if I may.
Speak freely, Marshal.
By all accounts, Leviathan's most formidable weapon is the very sea itself. Waves and whirlpools, tides and currents, all these things are his to command. The key to victory, I believe, lies in disarming our foe. This, in effect, is what the company of heroes achieved with their ruse. We cannot lure Leviathan from the sea a second time. But what if we could weaken his hold upon the element of water? I have heard of devices capable of such wonders. They draw upon the power of corrupted crystals, I am told. If mounted upon a ship, such a device might be used to prevent Leviathan from bringing the full force of the sea to bear against us, rendering him no more dangerous than any other sea serpent.
Of course! Sid built a similar device to grant the Enterprise safe passage through Garuda's Tempest, did he not?
Begging your pardon, my lady, but to give credit where it's due, this is something I heard from an old arcanist friend of mine.
It makes little difference who thought of it first, so long as it works. Beg the specifications of this device from your friend, and I shall pass them on to our people at Naldic and Vermelis. But before we proceed any further, I would voice one concern. Piercing Garuda's defenses is one thing. Suppressing Leviathan's attacks, quite another. In matters of science, I am as a babbling babe, but I cannot well imagine that such a feat would be possible without a veritable mountain of corrupted crystals. The question being, do we have a ship big enough to bear such a burden?
Mayhap not, Admiral, but two might. Recall you the tale of Mistbeard's greatest haul? It is said that he lashed 2 ships together, side by side, the better to bear his plunder. By your leave, we might attempt to repeat the trick. The gods know it would be quicker than building a new vessel.
Mistbeard did this. Truly, Marshal, upon the subject of the Pirate King, you are as a scholar.
Now, from what I have gleaned of these matters, the device will need to be in close and constant proximity to the target. To wit, we must lash our twin vessel to Leviathan. This in itself will be no small feat. Ramming speed will be required, but given the weight of the cargo, that will only be attainable with the aid of a towing vessel. Suffice it to say, the task of piloting said vessel will entail considerable danger, and I would not ask it of another. I volunteer myself.
Will be dangerous for all involved, but we have no better recourse. Very well. Commodore, assemble the remnants of the fleet at Morabee Bay. Give priority to our soundest vessels. The repairs can wait. Storm Marshal Slafierson, command of the operation is yours. I want that twin vessel ready to sail post-haste.
At once, Admiral.
And then there is the small matter of slaying the beast. The fate of Limsa Lominsa rests upon your shoulders once again. Go well, warrior of light.
I have my people working triple shifts on the twin vessel, but it will take some time yet. Time we may not have. 7 hells, this waiting is liable to drive the lot of us mad.
Being the observant adventurer that you are, you will doubtless have noticed my dagger work back at Sapsa. You know me, K'nekotein, I like to dabble in a bit of this and a bit of that.
The Sahagin elder claimed to have become eternal, yet he was summarily consumed by Leviathan. What might this imply?
To confront the Lord of the Whorl in his watery domain is far from ideal, yet he is not like to come to us with that he lacked the means to strike us from afar.
Beings held as gods also exist in what you call the Far East. Legends tell us that they walked among us in days of yore, but I confess that I never truly believed them. That I should live to behold one is humbling and horrifying in equal measure. Now that I have come face to face with a primal, I do begin to understand why the Garleans fear them so.
What is it?
A message, Admiral. I judged it best that it be delivered at once.
I am listening.
According to the Yellow Jackets, a man has appeared who claims to have defeated Leviathan.
One of the company of heroes.
The details are yet hazy, Admiral. We have dispatched one of our own to question the individual.
I am disinclined to put any store by this claim. And even should it be true, it is as Y'shtola said, none save the company of heroes have bested Leviathan, and we know how they went about it. If this man is of their number, what could he tell us that we do not know already? And yet, having wagered Limsa's survival on 2 ships, some rope, and a pile of crystals, can we afford to ignore this man? If his testimony could yield us any manner of advantage, should we not hear it? Damn it all. The twin vessel will soon be ready. We have no time to wait for the Maelstrom's report on this supposed primal slayer's claims. K'nekotein, seek him out and learn what he knows. At the very least, it will spare you the torment of waiting for the reckoning in idleness.
The man you are looking for is believed to be a resident of the Grey Fleet, in Lower La Noosha. The Storm Private sent to question him should already be in the vicinity. May your journey prove fruitful.
Down with you. They call me a working man. I reckon that's what I am. Drinking under the chief's nose, sneaking out the back door. And nobody'll ever know. Now look here, you'll have your bloody story, right after you carry those sacks of grain over to the mill. Gods, man. I've worked 3 days straight without a wink of sleep. 3 days. And do you hear me complaining? Wah. I suppose some of us just ain't made for the rougher stuff. Alright, I'll give ye what ye want. Never let it be said that old trick too ain't a generous soul. Now prick up your ears, cause I won't be repeating myself. Too modest, see. Besides, there's only so much epicness a man can take in one sitting, ye can. Ahem. The tale of Tricktomb's epic victory over the dread primal Leviathan. Now, Leviathan's huge, make no mistake. To give ye an idea how big, each of his scales is about as wide across as me members long, and that's no mean feat, let me tell ye. When I fought him, I could barely see for all the brine he was pelting me with. Must have been a lagoon's worth at least. He even knocked me trusty axe out of me hands at one stage. Course, that proved to be a grave mistake. Hehehe.
What happened next?
Why, I grabbed him by the tail and tied him up in knots. But not wanting to take all the glory for myself, I let me mates in the company of heroes handle the rest. Like I said, I'm modest as well as heroic. Mayhap too modest. Now, there's some a say ye can never truly beat Leviathan, that ye've got to learn to live with him and make the best of a bad situation. Not the company, though. It's you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I was just enjoying the attention, is all. I take back everything I said. I was never part of the company of heroes. I'm no marauder. I'm actually a complete coward. I'm nothing. I'm Chocobo Dun. No, I'm the maggots ye find wriggling in Chocobo Dun. I have to lie to women to tumble in, and that don't happen much. Me members tiny, it's pathetic. I sure as hells didn't fight Leviathan, but I have seen him with me own eyes. 'Twas a fair few years back, when I was working as a baker's hand. I was shirking me duties one day, loitering about the harbour, when I saw it. A great big massive sea serpent some miles off the coast, with a fleet of galleons marking straight for it, cannons firing. I was so bloody scared, I soiled myself right there and then. What? Oh, gods. Just remembering that day made me soil myself all over again. Hey, wait. If you're here asking after Leviathan, it means you're planning to fight him, ain't ye? Well, take care. He really is terrible. Dreadful, I tell ye. If you're not careful, you'll end up in his gullet or at the bottom of the sea.
K'nekotein, this is Minfilia. Were you able to learn aught of use against Leviathan? I beg your pardon, Leviathan. I see. That is unfortunate. At any rate, I have tidings for you. The twin vessel is now complete. We await you at the Morabi dry docks. Pray make your way here as soon as you are able.
Blasted rats.
In order to build the Whorleater, we had to decommission 2 perfectly serviceable galleons. Suffice it to say, their captains weren't best pleased with the notion. But when I offered them the chance to keep their ships and face Leviathan in our stead, they magnanimously withdrew their complaints. We must all make sacrifices for the greater good, they said.
It will require no small amount of helmsmanship to tow the Whorleater. I dare say delivering you safely to Leviathan will be a battle in itself.
Would that we had armed ourselves with more knowledge beforehand. Well, it cannot now be helped. I take comfort in the fact that you have faced worse odds in the past, and have ever prevailed. You will do so again, of that I have no doubt.
To complete the twin vessel in so short a time, and with limited materials, the people of Naldik and Vimelis have won an admirer in me.
When First Master Eorzea proposed the twin vessel, I must confess that I had my doubts. Only now that the Whorleater is complete do I see the elegance of this solution.
Though we cannot command the sea itself, it is the Maelstrom's charge to ensure safe passage for all who sail upon it. Come hells and high water, we will perform our duty.
I'm told your jaunt to the Grey Fleet proved fruitless. My sympathies, lass. I'll wager it served to take your mind off the events of recent days, though. But enough of that nonsense. The moment of truth is upon us. The twin vessel, the Whorleater, I call her, is complete, and she surpasses all my expectations. In addition to her prodigious tonnage, she has been fitted with a platform that you and yours might maneuver freely in battle. I would mention also that she is nigh unsinkable, but I'm not one to tempt fate. The Whorleater and her crew stand ready, my friend. Just give the word, and we shall bear you to Leviathan.
Thanks for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Farewell.